Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Skyhawk, Soviet Global Command 7.3. Okay, you hear the staff there doing their weekly hand-to-hand combat training. Tech, PGM, Advanced ASF, Advanced Manufacturing, Advanced Airborne. PGM, yes. The others, no. So the Soviets get on the board with stage 1 of PGM. Not really very good, but you know, what are you going to do? Send everybody to count trees? Then there wouldn't be anybody left to fight the war. Okay, next up, diplomacy. The Soviets are going to use their 2 free dice, and they're paying 2 IPP for a third. They're going to put the 2 dice to work on Yemen here and the single die on South Yemen. See what happens there. Okay, then it's military aid and purchase. They're spending 8. What are they spending 8 on? I have to refresh my memory. Because I started planning this turn a few days ago. Let's see. That's going to be a destroyer and a medium bomber. Those cost 4 each, so that totals 8. And then for themselves, they are spending, is that all cash? No. Uh-oh. Made a crash. They're spending 5 battle stars and 1 IPP on a minor airbase upgrade. And then they're spending, what is that? 14 on 2 attack choppers and 2 early gen MBTs. Spending another 14 on 2 MBTs and 2 diesel boats. 8 on a pair of mechs, and looks like the remaining 12 on 2 MBTs and a ground attack fighter. Okay, combat movement. The Soviets here in southern Caucasia are attacking Anatolia. There will not be any air going in, so the SAM will have to go to the box. Here in the Black Sea, we have a cruiser shooting an anti-ship missile. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I gotta make sure I say that right. Let me make sure here. Yeah, they can. Okay, yeah. The cruiser and the destroyer here in M11 are each shooting an anti-ship missile into M10. The SSN is shooting 2 anti-ship missiles in there, and the major shipyard in eastern Ukraine is shooting in the 5th. So they are going to make a serious effort to get rid of that NATO destroyer and frigate there in M10. There's no cruiser there, so there is no missile defense. Over here in the Atlantic, 2 SSNs from A35 will go 1-2 to attack the tanker in A41. The remaining will go 1-2 to attack the tanker in A42. And then up here, Soviet forces in Lapland are attacking Nordland. That's 2 MBTs, a rocket artillery, and a field artillery, which will shoot chemical. This ground attack fighter from Murmansk will come over to join the attack. And the 2 ASFs from Baltic states will fly 1, 2, 3, 4 over here to join the attack, just in case NATO decides they want to scramble a fighter. Wait, they can't scramble. There's no airbase there. Never mind. Never mind. Them guys don't have to do that. I think just because these 2 early gen MBTs from Murmansk are also going to come in and join the attack. There's 2 mechs and a SAM defending Nordland. And then here in A13, we have a combined total of 2 cruisers and 2 destroyers. They are each going to shoot 1 cruise missile into Akershus. Let's make sure. Yeah, the Soviets have long-range missiles. So 1, 2 into Akershus in a surgical strike, and the backfire in Baltic states will fly out over here to A13, and it will shoot a 5th cruise missile, 1, 2, into Akershus in surgical strike. There's no SAM there, so there will not be any missile defense. And that is it for combat movement. So as long as we're here, let's just take care of some business via the auxiliary tray. So the first thing we will do is the surgical strike on Akershus. As I said, no missile defense. So we have, let's see. Do they want to do that? Yes, they do. The Soviets are going to deploy their spy satellite to Akershus to get target select. And it did them no good because those missiles all missed. Not a single hit. Bad, bad, bad missile gunners. The KGB may be making some visits to command posts here shortly. Okay, now we will have the fight in Nordland. There is 1 Soviet aircraft going in, so the SAM defending gets 1 shot. That is a miss with a 4. Okay, so we have, that is mountain zone. So we've got 2 early gen MBTs at 1. Those both miss. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Those missed, but I forgot more first strikes. We got a field artillery shooting chemical at 1. He misses. We got a rocket artillery doing a barrage strike at 1. He also missed. Okay, now we've done the early gen MBTs. Now we do the MBTs at 3. Okay, there is 1 hit. And then the ground attack fighter at 4. He gets in there for a second hit, which is a land target select. So 1 land target select and 1 general hit. Okay, now the defenders. 2 mechs. Both miss. Okay, so with their land target select, naturally the Soviets are going to take out a mech. And NATO takes the general hit on the SAM. So 1 mech left defending. The Soviet field artillery, rocket artillery go to the box. So here's 2 early gen MBTs, miss. 2 MBTs, miss. And the ground attack fighter, miss. Ooh. Defend for a miss. Okay. 2 early gens, 2 MBTs, and the ground attack fighter. Early gens yellow, MBTs red, ground attack fighter green. Okay, there is actually 2 hits by the MBTs. We only needed 1. So NATO goes down. His final defense is a miss. Take him off there. Advance the Soviets in here to capture Nordland. Get everybody lined up in column here. Okay, there, that's it for combat action up here. Well, wait a minute, we have combat action down there in the Atlantic. So in A41, we have 2 SSNs attacking. There is a hit with a 4. So that one goes on the Soviet dashboard, and then there's 1 SSN attacking in A42. And that is another hit with a 3. So both of those will go on there to add 6 to the Soviet wartime bonus this turn. Collect things up, and we'll move back around here. Those things, that down there, and let's get these tankers collected up so we don't forget. That's big money for Moscow. There we go. Okay, now we will have the anti-ship missile strike in the Black Sea. As I said, there's no missile defense there. So we have 5 anti-ship missiles coming in. For 1 hit. All that hardware shooting, and they get 1 hit. So NATO will take that hit on the frigate. That was a lot of rubles spent to kill 1 cheap frigate. Okay, now we will have the battle in Anatolia. As I said, there's no air going in, so the SAM retires. We've got We have 4 next-gen MBTs against 2 mechs. And is Is that mountain? I'm sure it probably is, but as I have said so often, I cannot tell. Just looking at it, the color contrast just isn't there. Yes, it is a mountain zone. So the next gens are at 5. Okay, there is 1 hit, nothing in defense. So take away 1 defender die, and we go again. Okay, this time there's 1 hit for each side. So the Soviets win the day and capture Anatolia, minus 1 of their next gen MBTs. They had 3 left over to capture. Let's get a couple of roundels here real quick. That noise you hear from outside is exterminator next door doing the outside spraying with what really amounts to a leaf blower type contraption. But, you know, it does the job. Okay, so that's going to be 2 land battle stars for the Soviets. Get those on there. That is also, I have to make a quick note, makes an addition to the Soviet bonus income. Okay, that is it for combat. So now we have to do our diplomacy rolling. So here's the 2 dice for Yemen. Nope, no joy there. Single die for South Yemen. About as far away from a success as you can get, so. No luck on the diplomacy front for the Soviets. Okay, so now we're going to go into non-combat movement. There isn't going to be any over here. We are going to have a bit here in Northwest Africa. This field artillery from Western Algeria moves into Morocco. From Eastern Algeria, the field artillery can't move 2. He can only move 1. Okay, so the field artillery from Eastern Algeria will move up here to Northern Algeria. The 2 early gen MBTs will move into Morocco. And then the field artillery that was already in Northern Algeria moves over here to Morocco, along with these 2 light infantry. And the early gen fighter. So that's that for there. Grab that off there real quick. Now, is anything moving up here? Well, of course, the fighter, the ground attack fighter from the Nordland fight, is going to land in Svealand. The backfire bomber flies back to Baltic States. Shift just a little bit here. Group of Soviet forces, Eastern Europe, has 3 air cabs that are going to fly 1, 2 over here to Gotaland. And then from Western Ukraine, We've got 4 early gen MBTs that will go 1, 2 into Western Poland, and 2 early gen fighters that will also come over to Western Poland. And I believe that's it for non-combat movement. Yep, I believe it is. Okay, so now we're placing units. Let's see here. These 2 go up there. And check my notes here. And these guys go up there. All right, here we go. Svealand. Svealand gets another ground attack fighter and 2 MBTs. Two early gen MBTs, 2 attack choppers, and airbase upgrade, all going to Western Ukraine. So the Soviets now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major air bases. Then we have two MBTs and 2 diesel boats going here to Morocco. Getting a little crowded in Morocco. Just a little bit. And then finally, because they did such a good job with their stout patriotic defense, the Cubans down here are going to build 2 mechs to improve the island defenses as much as they can. All right, now deliver aid. So we have up here we have destroyer delivered to the major shipyard in Western Poland, so it goes here in A12, and then medium bomber is delivered into East Germany. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're collecting money. The Soviets are at 50 on the income chart. I've already totaled up their bonus for land zones with no IPP value in Africa and the Middle East. That comes up to 7. Plus 1 for possession of Anatolia makes 8. Make sure I'm not forgetting any. Plus 2 more for Shiraz makes 10. And then they're getting 6 more for the oil tankers for 16. So that'll be 66 IPP. That the Soviets collect. Plus the one I forgot to tell you they saved. Put 67 in their treasury for next turn, along with 2 battle stars. Okay. Oh, and missile production, 5 cruise missiles, and I believe it's still 3. Yes, 3 anti-ship missiles. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.